Over the last year and a half, Ty Gibbs has been one of the biggest stories in NASCAR. With his aggression making storylines alone, Gibbs quickly became a villain in the Xfinity Series. But even with that, it cannot be denied just how much talent he possesses behind the wheel of a race car. So it should be no surprise that people are already asking when Ty Gibbs will be brought up to the Cup Series. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I think going into this, the one thing we have to talk about for sure is the current state of the Cup Series when it comes to JGR. Starting with driver Denny Hamlin. Hamlin is the longest tenured JGR driver at the moment. As of 2022, he is 41 years old, so the clock is certainly ticking for his career as a driver at least. While he has run at an elite level for most of his career and finally scored a win in 2022 at Richmond, he has been off to a very bad start to this past season. And with an increased stake in the sport with his ownership of 2311, the driver's side of this owner-driver coin may not be getting prime attention. So Denny Hamlin is someone you may be able to watch to either maybe move to his own team or retire to go on and focus more on being a car owner, which it seems he's doing a lot of at the moment. Next up, there's Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was the best driver of the mid to late 2010s, and he's still one of the best in Cup today. Let's not make any arguments that he's fallen off a ton. Being at the age of 36, Busch has plenty of competitive years left in his career, but let's be honest, at this age, he may start to trend back downwards when it comes to the slope and peak of a career. Being the franchise driver for JGR, it's pretty safe to say that he's gonna be in the team's future for the relative long term. The only issue right now long term is primary sponsorship with M&M's leaving, but with such a big brand driver like Kyle Busch, I don't think it's gonna be a very long-term problem for him not having a primary sponsor. It just might be a patchwork for a bit. After that, we got Martin Truex Jr. Truex, like Hamlin, is 41 years old as well at the moment. With his time at JGR, Truex has stayed a top driver in the entirety of his tenure, though some of Truex's comments recently have left questions to his long-term viability with the team. In this, he said of his future that pretty soon, when it comes to having to think on it, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to start getting pressure from the team. They have a plan, so there always comes a deadline. I don't know when that is, but I'll have to have this conversation, I'm pretty sure, soon. So that can be interpreted a lot of different ways. Maybe it's just on an extension for a contract. Maybe it's on retirement. Maybe it's on just kicking him out for somebody younger and moving on to another team. Who knows? Then, of course, you have the guy coming up in the rear, and that is Christopher Bell. By far, he is the youngest driver at JGR, but at the same time, he is by far also the worst performing driver at JGR in the last few years. Overall, though, the 20 team has been off more often than not since Matt Kenseth left the team. With solid sponsorship in place, you can say that he's safe having DeWalt, but at that same time, if most of the sponsorship is going to stay on that car no matter what, what's to stop the team from moving on to a more younger and talented driver like a Ty Gibbs? Who knows? Overall, the team reminds me of the 2014 team lineup for Hendrick Motorsports. A team who had 3 elite drivers who won multiple races a year, were locks for the playoffs, and were also in the championship conversation each year. But within 4 years of that, the team itself had an entirely new and young nucleus. And I think this will happen in the next 4 years or so, with at least 3 of the 4 drivers at JGR being 40 or older at that time. So Ty Gibbs will be in Cup easily by 2025, I would say, due to just that alone. But there's more factors to look at. Right now in Cup, the trends are looking and leading towards a mentality of a younger is better approach. So far in 2022, for instance, 6 of the 7 winners have been under the age of 30, and we've seen it become normal to have rookies in their younger 20s. Hell, JGR itself brought up an 18-year-old Joey Logano in 2009, and when Kyle Busch came over to the team in 2008, he was in his very young 20s. Add to all of this that 23XI could be opening new cars in the future, as they built for that in the process of building up the team. And you could also look at the probable and increasingly likely instance that Kurt Busch may be retiring. Well, then you got 2 years really to look at for a clear Toyota opening for Ty Gibbs. Now, how can Gibbs himself be shown as Cup ready? Let's look at his career stats for the Xfinity Series after the Richmond weekend. In 25 starts, he has 7 wins, 3 poles, 12 top 5s, 14 top 10s. He's led 372 laps, has an average finish of 9.1, has only DNF'd once, and finished on the lead lap in 23 races. The percentages for this are very impressive. 28% win percentage, 48% top 5 percentage, 56% for top 10s, and 92% for lead lap finishes. So not only can Gibbs run well and run up front, but because of that lead lap percentage and the fact he only had 1 DNF, you could also argue he takes care of his equipment for the most part. Also, I will mention briefly, in ARCA, he dominated, which, let's be real, he should have. Gibbs' driving style right now, in my opinion, fits the way the Cup Series is rolling towards. The Cup Series right now is cutthroat. Winner take all, move people out of the way. Respect can be something given off the track, not on it. And let's be real, Ty Gibbs will hit anyone at any time to get a win. And that's exactly what's needed. Look what Ross Chastain has done with his career, building it up to the point now where people like myself are asking if he's a championship contender. A talented driver who drives like this may not make friends, but with the full support of Joe Gibbs Racing, obviously with who he is, but just in general, it would probably mean a good amount of wins could come from Ty Gibbs going to the Cup Series in the long term. So when do I think he will? What is the answer to this question? Personally, either 2023 or 2024. Most young drivers don't stay in the Xfinity Series much more than a year or two, and Ty Gibbs is going into his first full-time season in this series. I think at most he will be in this series through 2023, and by 2024, he'll either be driving the 19 or the 11 or the 20 car. One of those ones. I think that one of those older drivers will either move on or retire, or Christopher Bell will be moved on upon due to having, well, a pretty good development line between Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek. So that's my answer, but now I want to hear yours. When do you think Ty Gibbs is moving up to the NASCAR Cup Series? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video. Share this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content like this. To all my channel members, thank you so much for all of your support. And until next time, have a good one.